Howdy y'all, welcome back to another stream, another video. Whenever you guys are watching this, I appreciate it. I know not everyone tunes in right away or live or whatever. It's great either way, no matter what. It's great that you guys stop in. So like I said before, I had family, I was also sick and some other stuff going on. So that's why I haven't been live for a while, just so you all know. Today my goal is to work on this GIF. So this grabs random things, and then whenever we click on it, it also grabs this. So after some thought, what Twitter does is basically it randomly generates how many wide across and does some other work. I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to say, okay, thank you for that. Thanks for the sub. Basically, I'm going to say we're going to go for 4 in a row and down and kind of work from there because we have other issues to fix, you know. And there's a lot of refactoring and stuff. So also want to mention that as we get going here, I am working on, you know, the tutorial behind the scenes and some stuff like that. So as that tutorial gets closer and closer to being finished and I upload that and everything, we're going to push towards a live stream type content and then kind of split the live streams up into videos and whatnot. So just so you all are aware of that, I am going to change this to 32. That way it's fit perfectly there. And let's see. So what I'm trying to think about, or what I'm thinking of doing here, is we probably want some sort of component here. We probably want some form of preview component too, honestly. I'll do that later. But let's make a search component, or like a I guess a GIF display component or something along those lines, and then kind of go from there. We'll set up the rows and columns and all of that stuff. We can do something similar to this, although this is, yeah, this is a preview. How do I want to deal with this? Because right now we're just showing the preview. So I guess what we're going to want to do is change the modal, and we're going to do a lot of refactoring, which is what scares me. And I should have recorded already, probably. Probably should have recorded all of this already. We're going to make some changes for sure. And that scares me because it's going to be a massive pain to go through and fix all this. What I might do is I might just make it work and go through and figure out how the heck to fix it later. And that's going to be the easier way to do this, honestly, than doing this. Because instead of preview, it'd probably be better to be like, hey, is this preview true or false? And then display it. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and make a new component, and I'm going to call this feed post creator, and then this will be GIF modal display. So this will actually display the GIFs. Now the problem is going to be passing these GIFs and updating the GIFs and everything. We're going to have to set up some state in this probably to really get this to work properly. And that's fine, but let's just make a new file. Feed post creator GIF modal display. All right, let's just import our React. Whoops, from React. Let's export const feed post. Excuse me, creator. This will be GIF modal display. React.fc. We'll bring in what we need as we need it. And let's just return a div. Oops, return a div. The class name equal to feed post creator dash GIF modal display. Sure. And I guess we can make the CSS for this real quick. Feed post creator GIF modal display.css. Let's import this as well. Import / post creator GIF modal display. So the preview is just going to basically preview the different the preview is going to be for basically previewing the different categories that the person can click on to view different GIFs. The display will actually go ahead and display the GIFs that were searched. So this is going to purely be a straight up presentational component. So I'll have an interface and feed post creator GIF modal display props, and we'll at least have and I guess what we could do, I forget how we had this set up before. So right now in the preview we have just a URL and it's a string. Okay, so what we can do is we can just have a GIFs. This will be a string array, and of course we're gonna have to deal with ads on this because Harris Heller is blocked, or Harris Heller gets blocked, and YouTube decides that ad blocks aren't allowed anymore. So we might get random ads throughout the stream music. Unfortunately, nothing we can do. So we have our GIFs and pass that. Whoops. And we'll pass our GIFs. And we're going to basically do what we were doing inside this preview. Except we do want to do a little bit more than this. So that's also ultimately why I'm bringing this out. I'm trying to separate concerns and whatnot. So we still want to gifs.map. And we'll just go through each GIF. And let's see. So for each GIF, we'll pass in the key as the GIF and the URL as the GIF. And what is your problem? GIFs. Because we need to wrap this, of course. So now we can say feed post creator GIF display, and this will be the GIF. The other thing that we need to do is we need to modify our freeze, because on Twitter you can actually freeze each individual GIF, which is interesting. They take it from like, I wonder how they do that. But anyway, so this also needs to have like a little slot here, like a div with the class name equal to like feed post creator dash GIF modal display. This is like auto section or something, and then this will have like a paragraph that says like auto play GIFs, like this. And I have no clue how to do a button, a toggle button. So what I'll just do for now is do a div, and we can deal with this later. Div class name equal to feed post creator dash GIF dash modal display auto toggle. We'll have to look at how to do the toggle. I'm guessing it's not that hard, but we'll have to figure it out. Class name equal to feed post creator GIF modal display. Then this will be auto text. Okay. And then maybe we should actually have the content or something. The div class name equal to feed dash post creator dash GIF dash modal display. And then this will be GIF container, I guess. And then inside of our GIF container, we'll have this. So this is what this looks like. Again, we're going to have to bring a bunch of stuff up, unfortunately. And there's nothing we can do about it. So this is why I'm kind of thinking we're going to redesign all of this. Then hopefully I can get this done in a timely manner. That way I can record this for a next round of episodes. So we're going to need, right now, all of this is in the preview, right? So we have fetch gifts by term and fetch gifts. So I don't know where our tenor categories is. I think we're gonna extract all of this into the GIF modal. So I think we bring our categories out. I think we extract this and put it into our GIF modal. And there's probably some stuff that we need to deal with that's going to be a little bit messy, and it's fine. We'll need this, and we will not need this anymore. We'll still need to update search term because we're probably going to be passing data up. And I don't think this is worth setting up a whole new... How's it going, Dominic? Hope it's going well. Trying to change up the schedule a little bit here. Especially, fingers crossed, I'll be starting my new job soon. Hopefully next week. So hopefully I can work in that Eastern time zone. And this could be my streaming schedule from now on. And I was just talking about how I'm planning on changing some things up. Content-wise and everything. Still going to be doing this, but I want to kind of switch towards live stream focused rather than recording these, because basically I live record them, put it down, and then record it again, which is a bunch of waste of time. So I can be spinning, working on other things. So awesome. So I think I'm going to move the state out of here and into here. And I'm also going to move this again. If we wanted to, we could set up another slice of this, but I don't think this warrants a slice, honestly, to be completely honest. So we're going to, we might literally grab all of this, and the preview will also be a completely presentational component as well. And this is going to become a mess very, very quickly. Let's see. So tenor key, please don't display this. Okay, thank you. For Axios and the use effect, we can just copy here and paste it in here. And throw our categories in there. Rid of this. So massive change on this as well. And now we don't need preview in here. However, we are going to so what we'll do, so this, it's the URL, blah, 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 data.push tags, set categories data. Our categories has an image path. So what if and that's the other thing I'm thinking is, once I kind of get it out there that I'm, streaming in the afternoon instead of 6 a.m., it does hurt some of my target audience, because I know that some of my target audience is in India, and this is super early in the morning for them now, versus whenever I was streaming at 6 a.m., it was in the afternoon for them, so that does kind of hurt it. But I think overall, it's going to be a net positive at the end of the day. and it should open up the door to a lot of things. So now the question is, do we need these tenor categories? I guess we need the categories for the... We still need the categories. But we can also just set the gifts to data. Although data has all of the tags. That won't work either. So we need like a let URLs equal to this. Although, let me think about this. We need to pass, I guess we need to pass the entire we need to pass the categories. We also need to pass, yes, we need to just pass the categories. So let's go ahead and say categories. And that means we're going to have to export this, which is kind of annoying. It is what it is. We might go through and redo this a little bit as well. Export this. Okay, on our categories. Okay. So now we don't care about preview because we're not going to be displaying the preview. We're just going to be mapping the categories. So we still need fetch. So handle clicked. How do we want to deal with this now? So we can still pass a function in. We can still pass in. We can still do this, I guess. What does this frozen GIF have in it? This takes in a term string void. So fetch GIFs by term. Just take in a term string void. And we'll pass this in here. So fetch gifts by term. Once I like officially start my job, I'm also gonna go through and kind of explain what's going on and everything else, what the job is and everything. But how do you spell categories? Which way is right? Categories. Is it with an E? It is with an E. Okay. But I don't want to like get too ahead of myself. I just want to make sure everything is, you know, 100%. I started just in case something happens because the job market is, you know, a little bit finicky. Anything can happen with the job market. So I want to just make sure nothing goes wrong and everything works out. So we don't have an update search term in here. I think that's because whenever we were clicking on one of these, it was also calling update search term or something. I'm not sure what update search term is going to do. Let's just get rid of it and get rid of it. And we'll deal with the backlash in a second. Okay, let's get rid of this. So now we need categories, which would be equal to categories. We need, go back in here. So feed post modal preview. We need fetch gifts by term. Let's grab this. Fetch gifts by term equal to fetch gifts by term. So basically what this is needing to be now is instead of this, we'll say if preview. So let's do this real quick. And this could be made prettier as well. Preview, question mark. It was a preview. We'll have this. Otherwise, we'll have feed post display. Then we need our gifs. This will just be equal to gifs or something. Now, keep in mind that there's still some work to be done here. I haven't set up everything yet. So some stuff might not work, and I'm guessing there's probably going to be bugs. So if we click on this, so this still works. That actually still worked, and that actually worked. That is quite surprising. Yeah, okay is right. That's quite surprising. If we click on this, so it didn't go back to what it was supposed to. I wonder what the preview was there. But if categories is less than 1, and let's do this. Well, actually, no, it's because we never reset preview, right? So basically, if we clear, can we say if term is equal to nothing? Can we set preview true? Like, is that something we can do? Also, I don't ever see where we set preview to false. Oh, it's because if we have a term. See, that should have worked then, probably. Whoops. So do that. Click on this. We have a term. We clear this. It's not actually clearing the term. So, let's see. So whenever let's just kind of do some investigative work here. So whenever we click on that, it calls set input value to this. But I'm guessing we're never actually calling the update search terms. Let's go ahead and update the search terms as well to nothing whenever we clear this. Now if we clear this, click OK. Looks good. Let's go into the CSS real quick. This is something I already changed in the top. Inside of our input, I did a background color. Whoops. Background color of transparent. And that should fix that. There we go. Okay, that scuffs this. And I think I fixed this as well in the original, or in my the episode I already recorded, by saying +1, and I think that should give us enough clearance to be fine. Yeah. I do have a LinkedIn account, but I don't give it out over YouTube. So if you want to reach out, I have an email inside of my on my YouTube channel. You can reach out to that email and reach out to me that way, and then we can decide if you need my LinkedIn or not. So, all right, so this looks good. This is working the way it should. Okay, well, I'm actually surprised that worked. Now, the only thing is we don't actually have, like, searching. So if we say, like, hello, it's not actually searching anything. But I'm not concerned about that. Also, whenever term goes to nothing, let's clear out the gifs, probably. So if we go into feed post creator modal, no problem. If we go into here, so if term goes to here, let's set our gifs to an empty array. And again, this is a little bit messy. We'll probably work on this some more and refine it to make it look a bit better. But if we click on OK, we click on clear, we click on like hello, basically that should be sending a request. There is a problem that we're probably going to run into. The Tenor API only allows a call every 1 second. So I'm not sure how we're going to deal with that. But we will, deal with it somehow. I'm not sure. So now what we want to do, I guess let's make it so that we can actually display these in a grid basically. And like I said, I made the executive decision to more or less just lay it out the way that I want. I'm not going to kind of follow Twitter's randomization. So inside of our mobile display, and I think we're ready for this, we can go into the mobile display CSS. So this, we'll just do a width 100% and height fit content. So width 100% and height would just be fit content. Something else that we need to do is inside, before I forget, we need like a hidden element. I'm just gonna make a div, and this is gonna be hidden, and this might need like an ID or something, but this is gonna say like auto load. And auto load might not be a great name for this, but the idea behind this is that whenever we get to the bottom, we want to be able to know whenever we can quote unquote view this. I mean, we won't really be able to view it, but whenever they reach the bottom of the GIFs, we want to auto load more GIFs in, so that basically this is going to call like next or whatever it is, right? We need to keep track of that. So we're going to have this here, and then we're going to do some research on how to actually auto call that whenever we get to that point. But we'll deal with that in a second. So I think this is fine for this. Next is this guy. So the auto section. So the auto section, if we take a look at Twitter, the turn on and off auto display, if we inspect it, it looks like it is about, let's see if I can get how tall it is. It says 20 pixels, but that's not right. It's 20 pixels. It's about 32 pixels after margin and everything. Although, I guess that is the div. It says 20 pixels, but that seems really... Although, actually, it's going to be 40 pixels, 44 pixels. Let's just say 50 pixels. So, height 50px, a little bit bigger. It's fine. Width 100%. This one we will have a display flex, and we might want some padding on the left and right of 12. So let's say padding. I forget the ordering. We can just try padding 0.12px and see what happens. And then our justify content will be space between, and our line items will be center. And we should see a small difference if we type like hello. Yep, so centered, looks good. We need to see how big this text is, and it looks like something like 400. So it's 15 pixels. And let's just deal with this text really quick. Let's see. So let's grab the text, and we'll deal with the toggle in a little while. I primarily want to get the GIFs loaded in and working properly. So this is text size, or oops, font size 15px. Oops. The font weight was like 400. It's pretty thin. And then the color is 5364. I'm just gonna write this down: 5364 and 71. So color. Oops. If I could type, that's not possible. So there's our color. So this should at least. I guess the colors are slightly different because I got two different monitors. Okay, makes sense. Okay, and then of course, I don't know how to do the pillbox thing. I'm probably going to end up creating a custom component for that, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm just going to keep this as is. But now if I at least like come in here, clear this out, and I click on this, it says hugs. Now we need to do the styling in here and on the images and all of that stuff. So for this, I'm once again just gonna do 100% and fit content on the height basically. And so I'll say width 100%. Height will be fit content. Display will be flex. Display flex. We will align items center and justify content. We'll space evenly. Honestly, I don't know if we need align item center on this, but I want a row gap and column gap. So row gap will be like, let's try 4px, and column gap will be 4px. If we need to up this, it's fine. What is it, wrap or flex wrap? Flex wrap will be wrap. And I think that's everything for that. And then to cheat, literally all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna say the GIF itself. We're gonna copy this, we're gonna paste it in here. And the GIF itself is gonna have a width of 25%. And height, I don't know, because Twitter uses a different height on like everything. Like this one's 129, this one's 140, this one's 134, 139, 134. Looks like it is between 140 and 100. Let's just say like 135, right in the middle. We'll say 135. So height is 135 px. And we're gonna have to do some like centering and stretching. So this one, I don't remember exactly how to do this in CSS. But as you can see, although it didn't do exactly what I wanted, there's not enough space there. What if we say 20%? We need to make a little bit more space. Yep, okay. Extremely white, but definitely needs less row gap. So maybe we do like 1 and 1 and then go back to like 24%. That looks a bit better, I think. What if we... If we did 25%. Probably gonna be too big, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll go back to 24. We probably don't need row gap and column gap at that point. That's still too big, is what I'm realizing. What if we did 25%? We might just have to do some. See, that's right up against each other, and that's not quite right either. So if we did like 24.5, and this is getting really finicky and gross, I think that might be about right. Although now there's none. So now I don't know what the row gap should be. Row gap. Let's try 0.5 px. I don't know. See, that seems too small to me. But 1 px seemed too big, right? So if we come back in here and do like 1 px, the row gap just seems way too big. Now it's not the same. This is tough. Although it does seem that the row gap is slightly bigger than the column gap on Twitter. I know you guys can't see, I have Twitter open on the side. What if we say 2 pixels? Honestly, I might just go with that. I think that looks good to me. I think that looks good to me. Twitter goes all the way up against the side. I think that's actually pretty close to what Twitter does. I mean, like I said, it's not going to be perfect. It's a clone. I'm not trying to make it 100% perfect. I mean, I am fairly happy with this as is. So it's not gonna be perfect, but it's good enough for me. So that's good. These GIFs probably need on click on or on hover and all of that stuff. We need to center these. So let's say CSS center image inside image tag. I know there's like stretch and all of that stuff, but now I gotta remember how to do it. I don't want to do that. Although this doesn't even look bad, really. I think all of these are fine. I'm not going to change anything. There was some CSS that I had inside of the preview. Like I might, although never mind, that doesn't do anything. That's just a preview. I thought that it had some image code. I guess not. I have some image code inside the frozen GIF, I think. Although I might not actually. No, I don't. Okay, well, I think this is probably fine, to be honest. I think it looks decent. Now the thing is, whenever you click on one of these, we want to add them to the actual post, which is going to be another challenge that we need to figure out. But we're getting somewhere. Now we need to get it to what, like, actually let's think about what we want to work on next. I don't think that the toggle button is going to be of high importance. I think that actually making a request to get like the next is going to be something big. So HTML know when an element is in view. That's old. I don't want that. No, there's a way to do this. I swear there's an easier way. I don't love this. It looks like you have to do the viewport thing though. Now this is what I wanted, the intersection observer API. This is what I want. Create an observer. Let the target, which we have. We may have to do some wonky stuff, but you can just check if the elements to the visible to the viewport or not. Set threshold value to 0. I guess we can try this and see what happens. In options, the value of root is null. Take viewport as a reference. In terms of visibility, the viewport value is 0.5. It means that the target is more than 50% and the callback is invoked. In order to check whether an element is in a viewport or not, we set the threshold value to 0 with this callback and invoked as soon as the element enters. Okay. Observer, const observer, blah blah blah. Whatever, let's do it. Let's see if we can print out whenever we view the hidden thing. Kind of go from there. So, and this is a mess. And it might take me a little bit longer to get this done than I was hoping, but it is what it is. So inside of our feed modal display, it's all JavaScript. So I'm just gonna YOLO it basically. We want to grab our target, and this is probably better off using like a ref or something, and maybe I could figure out how to do a ref. But sure, we might be able to straight up copy and paste all of this and it work, or we might not be able to. The target is going to be auto load, and now we want to have a callback, and I don't know why we need to do this. Why do we need a function? I'm gonna forget the function. We're just gonna copy this. Right? And I'm gonna throw it in here.
Even if your team's not in the same place.
And ads again. Let me pause for a second so we don't have to listen to the ad. So we need a callback. So this will be, let's just call this const load next gifs, I guess. And this will just equal this for now. And now this will be called load next gifs. Console.log load next gifs. There's some extra logic they wanted me to do in there. And they wanted us to have, excuse me, root null and threshold 0. Let's do that. And we're going to observe. So it does not like observer.observe target. So type argument type of HTML element ignore is not acceptable to type element. Type null is not blah blah blah. You're gonna be annoying. I love this. What if I say any? TypeScript. That. So I don't expect this to do anything other than crash. Okay, so it doesn't work anyway. Ooh. Dumb. Let's not click on that. Small bug, we'll deal with it later. Okay, we won't. We're gonna deal with it right now because it's a big bug. Okay. Uncaught. Failed to execute observe on blah blah blah. Parameter 1 is not type element. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna have to probably use a ref or something. Probably going to use a ref and a use effect and a function to do this. So let's say const hidden div equal to use the HTML div element. We'll start out as null. Alright, let's import use ref. And then this is fine, we'll keep that. So now let's do a use effect, I guess. Whenever the component loads, we'll go ahead and say throw a ref on this. Ref is equal to, and this will be hidden div. And here we'll say if hidden div and hidden div.current. Say const observer. I don't know if this is going to work, but whatever. And we'll say observer, we'll say const target equal to hidden div.current. What is current? Current is, this is a HTML div element. We have to get the native element or something from this. And we get the native element from this. I don't know. We get the children. First child. Elements. We can get us hidden. We can get node type, node value, node name. Not get the native element. Okay, that's no fun. Attribute node. What's element node mean? Node as an element. Does this return? Returns a 1. Well, that doesn't help me whatsoever. What if we say target is equal to that? And we do this. Yes. Okay. It worked. Which, that is, I mean, it takes an element. Maybe, I'm guessing that, I guess, extends element and that makes it legal, I'm assuming. I don't really know everything that's going on in there. We're not getting an error. Well, I mean, we didn't get an error from that last time. Doesn't work though. Because it immediately called load next gifs. What if we set this to 1? Also, keep in mind that we didn't actually go through all of the steps that it said to do. Yeah, still calling load next gif. But what if we go in here? Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Set canvas. Yeah, still calling load next gif. Okay. But we didn't do the callback takes an entries and an observer. And entries.for. We can try this, but I don't have high hopes. So this takes this. And let's see. Doesn't like it. But we'll copy this anyway. Does not like this. See. So whenever we create the observer, yeah, it does not like that callback function. It says no way, Jose. Why does the callback function need the observer? Not sure why it needs the observer. Is that what it was complaining about? Because it was implicitly any type and just wanted any? Yeah, it doesn't even use that, so I don't know why we got that thing. But does it actually pass the entries? Not visible. I don't think the observer is working. Not visible. Scroll down. What if we took off the hidden? It is visible. Not visible? is visible. Not visible, is visible. Not is. All be darned. It might work. Although it did say visible for a second right there. Let's do this. It's because we haven't loaded the data in yet. The GIFs haven't been loaded in yet. So it calls next before, which I mean, we could load like 16 at a time instead and call next anyway. I mean, that might work, or we can just have 32, I guess, and call next. Probably not the best way to do it. But I mean, it might work. So if we come back in here, we have a results array. We have our next. Oh man, I want to grab the documentation. So right now it's not visible, but whenever we scroll down, it becomes visible. Unfortunately, it calls it twice because why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it, you know? I don't really know why it is calling it twice, but now we'd want to call next here, which means we already have next set in here. Probably not. Const next gifs set next gifs. So we fetch the gifs by term. Whenever we set gifs, we're also going to set next gifs to the... What are we printing in this? Are we printing anything? Console log res.data. So it's going to be res.data, and it's going to be, man, it's going to be res.data .next basically. So just set next, and we need to update the GIFs though, so we might as well make it in here. Const like fetch next GIFs or whatever equal to an async function, and we already have next. So it's like we already have our term. We'll probably set this client key somewhere else. If I remember correctly, tenor API documentation. The thing is, we want tenor 2.0. This is not it. Let me scroll up to here. We want the Google guide because this other guide is outdated. Yeah, we want this one because we're using actual Google's. Endpoint, I think. Search limit 10. I think we can just call next or something. Position. Yeah, so we can call POS and then put in the next value. That's what it's called. So basically what we want to do is we want to grab the same URL We're going to paste it in here, except we're going to have an and we're going to have POS, $, and we're going to say next gifts, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to probably get ourselves banned by accidentally spamming the crap out of this. But what we're going to do is let's just go ahead and console.log what we get back. So let's make sure we get like a new next gifts back. And then now let's just console.log res.data. Sure. And we're going to say display, we're going to say get next gifts, and this will be a function that returns void. We'll pass it in here, get gifts, and whenever we, instead of console.logging visible, maybe we can still console.log, we're going to call it get next gifts in here. Whenever we become visible, we'll call and get the next gifts. And what we'd want to do, set this up, get next gifts, get next gifts. Is that not what I called it? This one's called fetch next gifts. Then let's just make sure we get a different value before we break anything up. So right now it's visible, not visible, uncaught. Next, get next gifts is not a function. Terrific. Fetch next gifts. Fetch next gifts is in fact a function. The error is in the GIF middle display. Get next gifts. Does not you do a function? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Definitely need to do a function. Why are you saying gifts? It's a void function. Why are we saying get? Why is this not a function? Also, it's kind of scary that I got called 3 times. But it is a function. Not sure why it's saying it's not a function. I love this. Really says parameter function. And here, fetch next gifts. The function. The promise, it's a void function. Yeah, everything is fine. Do we not call it that way? Is this going to be a problem? Do we not call it as a function? Is it getting passed as a prop? If that's the case, that's kind of silly. React call a function passed as a prop. Not what I'm trying to do though. All these are with like on clicks or something around those lines rather than yeah, see, these are all being passed as like listeners. Even though this says it's a function. This obviously isn't going to work either, but now we really broke it. This one's stumping me a little bit. Because it's a function. It's passed as a function. This says it's a function. Yes, it technically says it's a method. But you see here, the void method or function, whichever one you want to call it, but doesn't want to work properly, which is interesting. Can't call it like this, I guess. But I'm guessing if there's like an on click or something, it'd probably work. Trying. See here. React. Not a function. Oh. Say type error, not a function from props. Same one that isn't helpful. I don't think I can do what I'm trying to do, I guess, maybe. Doesn't look like I can call get next method, get next gifts like this for some reason, which is strange. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to. Unless I could be missing something staring me right in the face, which is also very high possibility that I'm probably like just staring something right in the face. So I think the other option would be to pass the next value and just call the next in here, which then I have to pass all of the data back up. Again, not great. I'd rather it all be done in here. So I don't know what to do about this. Like if I bet if I had like a term or something in here, it might work. But like term string, and this is useless. But then if I come, like what if I did this and put term string, and then what if I did just like nothing? Like, does this work for some reason? No way. No way that just works. We got a 400 bad request. But Also, and there's my key again, of course. Just have to display my key. Probably because I have to say equal to. Let's try this again. Try not to display my key. I am anyway. I'm just gonna go ahead and I don't know what I'm gonna do about my key. But not visible. Still getting an error. Position is empty. The next gifts is never set, maybe? What I'm going to have to do is I might have to blur out the... I'm going to have to blur out the console, probably. Console.log next gifts real quick. Refresh. Go into here. Click on this. But yeah, next gifts is empty. Even though results are right there. Should be res.data.next. Right? Yeah, next. Position is empty. Why is next gifts empty? Next gifts, set next gifts. We're setting next gifts to data.next. Is it because... No, that shouldn't reset it. I can't tell you what the future of Java holds, but I don't think it's going anywhere. Basically, every single enterprise is either using Java or C# at this point, so it's not going anywhere. I can't just share the repository because you gotta go through a couple of steps, but there is videos on my channel, or videos and links to the series to show you how to get access. So, for some reason, next gifts. That's strange. Next gifts here is empty. We're definitely saying next gifts. Should be fine. I don't know why. Also, this is such a stupid thing. That's kind of a, I don't know, I don't really like that idea either. We could pass next through there, but I don't love that idea. Might gotta think on a couple of things. I don't know why that state would be behind like that. We shouldn't have to do this. I'm actually kind of scared that that's going to cause an infinite loop. I want to go through and hide my key here. But still errors. Yeah, position is equal to nothing, and even though we have this here, I don't know why we're not getting next, so we're gonna have to deal with that. I guess our set next gifts doesn't seem to be doing anything right now. Even though whenever we console.log the data, it's there. We're not calling this. We shouldn't be calling this like right away though. It should be set by the time we get to that point. I'm not sure why it's being like this. So I think for now I'm gonna call it a day. It's been about an hour 15, about an hour 10 working on this. I'm gonna try to go between an hour and a half. I want to brainstorm and debug a little bit to figure out why this is doing this. Also, I need to go through and blur the last like half of this because I don't want my key out there getting charged or anything. So with that being said, thank you all for stopping by. I gotta get ready for dinner and some other things, and I'll see you in the next live stream of the next video.